Welcome to JB Trio Podcast, Season 3, Episode 9. I'm Lee McDonald Jr.
Christopher, my team is still in first place. What Mancy?
Mark, the ancient warrior merchant.
And joining us tonight is Mr. 300, Jarrod Gallegos. How you doing, Jarrod?
Not too bad. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great. We're happy to have you. We've got our first guest on for the season. We appreciate you joining us.
It's actually an unofficial 300. We're still reviewing the tapes.
Oh, no, why is it unofficial?
We're still reviewing everything, possibilities, the ball, corking.
Hey, we have video proof on it on the Facebook page, so it's official as it can get.
Yeah, somebody said it ain't a sanctioned 300 because the foul lights weren't on.
That means all of the Woodman scores are invalid.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And they're on all season.
Well, we have to follow the Chris rules. It's only a foul if the lights go off.
Yeah.
Or if you actually step over the line, which Chris knows all about.
No. You have to hear a buzzer.
Forget Chris he's got that curling his toes technique.
Yeah. It works every time.
Exactly. If you haven't heard the news by now, Jarrod was our bowler of the week last night. At the time of the recording, it's Wednesday, the 4th of January. We bowled on Tuesday, the 3rd of January for week 17. Jarrod bowled 300 for his last game, and it's on Facebook. The video's there. It was a great time. He bowled really great last night. He also ended up winning the Woodmansey Award with 133 pins difference. Definitely quite the night.
Yeah, a little recording from last night after he threw his last ball.
What is that? It sounds like somebody's taking a leak. He took a leak on the lanes.
I got to say, though, Jarrod, I don't think you would have had that 300 if Neil was there. He would have burned that shot up. You would have been hitting the nose.
Well, the first ball in the 10th frame, I thought I was going to hit the nose because that's why I literally pointed with my left hand to go Brooklyn, because I was like, if I was going to have any chance to have that ball carry, I thought I was going to have to go Brooklyn, but the ball held and it hit pocket pretty flush. So
it was pretty flush, yeah. I even said on the video it looked like it was going Brooklyn, but
I thought it was. I was like, well, I mean, this is because when I let off that first one in the 10th, I really thought it was. I thought I was a little inside on the release. Luckily, I was inside enough just to hit some oil.
Yes.
So I think you really need to thank Neil for not showing up, and then Rick Connor getting up there just as you were getting ready to throw your last ball. So he was giving you an excuse if you pulled the Woodmansey and choked it.
Oh, really? He did that? I didn't see that.
So I actually prefer everybody to keep doing what they do because it's probably more nerve-wracking when everyone's watching. And, with 300s, that's usually how it goes. But
yeah, that 12th ball, it got pretty quiet there. Everybody stopped. And the only one that was up there was Rick.
Yeah, he wanted to give you an excuse. If you blew it, you could have blamed him.
Yeah.
Chris's team might be in first place this first half, but Jarrod, you without a doubt are the
MVP.
Oh
my gosh.
Of the first half.
Out of here. I've been leading high average, high points. I've been leading this whole half. How am I not MVP?
No, Chris, how they have MVPs in most pro leagues is it's all voted on by your peers. And, I'd have to say, I think
he's bowler of the
may
people.
have my vote.
What?
If you curl up those bowling shoes of yours a little bit more on the tips, you curl them up, maybe you would get MVP.
I didn't know this was a pity award. Like a pity
Oh.
I mean, sometimes it's all about how you score the ball, Woodman. So you just gotta sometimes get
man. Spot. Yeah, Jarrod does something.
Maybe if my team was in third place, I'd probably get the award too.
No. There's at least 3 bowlers on this podcast that's had 300.
Yeah. There is one missing.
You had to say
multiple
that.
times.
You had to say that.
And
multiple 300s.
Multiple 300s. So, that's not my only one, gentlemen. I'm just throwing that out there.
I would say that Jarrod's definitely earned the MVP spot for the JB Trios for the first half of 2022.
How many games had you rolled? Was that 3 games you've rolled on that ball? That was it, right?
That was the 3rd game. Yes, sir.
Wow.
3rd game. Imagine that. Brand new ball, 3rd game.
Only practice on that ball was the 10 minutes we get.
Wow.
That's great.
Just too bad that we had to put video proof of the 2nd game that was out there, though.
Oh my God, that was yeah. I mean, that was a struggle. I'll be honest with you. There was some little bad carry for a few of the shots, and then I missed some pretty easy spares. Had a couple of chops there, I think, and then I just didn't finish strong. And I had potential to shoot 211 when I started the striking. I threw a double, and then so I could have finished with another 211, which the first game is 211. So
yeah.
I thought I could roll and finish strong, but I just couldn't get it. And then I think I had a split in there, and it just it killed the whole vibe. I knew after that 2nd game, I had to make an adjustment. I wasn't going to switch the ball because the ball wasn't the issue. It was the bowler. Yeah. I made a small adjustment, and that's all it took, gentlemen.
Yeah, I know it's going to sound odd, but it's usually when you get a new ball, it's harder to actually spare with the ball than it is to strike. It's basically just one of those things. It shows proof, though. I mean, you had the 167, but then backed it up with the 300.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it all counts the same with the States Bowling Congress, so we'll take it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And maybe when you get that ring, you can show Chris what it really looks like.
I'll have 2 of them to show him, an ABC and a USBC. Make sure that they're nice and shiny.
When I get first place, I'll show him the plaque.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
first place plaque.
Chris has been trying to buy some of Lee's dad's 300s and 800s.
There is eBay out there. eBay does have the knockoffs.
When they give you those rings, they put your name in the back of it, so you got to get one with your name on it, Chris.
Yeah. Just find a guy named Chris.
Yeah, there's got to be another Chris Woodmansey out there.
There are a lot of them out there, right?
Yeah. I don't know if they'll take the name, though, because I remember when I took your name for our bowling name, this is the biggest curse that we've ever had.
Yeah, you are changing your name the second half, right?
Oh, man. Yes.
I think you should, really.
I may change it to the Gallegos.
Gallegos? I think it's Gallegos.
I don't know. What way is it, Jarrod? Is it Gallegos or Gallegos?
You said it correctly. It was Gallegos.
That's what I thought. See,
Gallegos?
Yeah.
I heard them all when I grew up, gentlemen. When I was growing up, there was Lego Maego and all that kind of stuff.
Well, you can only imagine what they've done with McDonald's.
Yeah, we're changing our team name too. We're going to go with 3 for Fellatio.
Just don't make me announce it like Ken Johnson.
Hey, if it were, I think all love for Neil and Gil, but I mean, I think if it were up to them, we'd be named Rush. And what's funny about that band, and we're going to have to wear their shirts, but although I just had a good game, so I may not want to wear a Rush shirt for a while. But
exactly,
Gil bought us some Rush shirts, and I may just want to keep it going with my Cobra Kai stuff because that seemed to work. And
is that what you wore last night?
Yeah, I had my Johnny Lawrence Cobra Kai, and
there you go.
The whole evening I was giving Gil a hard time about Rush and Tom Sawyer and all the songs made by Rush, and it was just hilarious because I just started doing the impersonation as best I could of the lead singer, and just that sound that he makes, that dang, that all that kind of stuff. But anyway, it was funny because it kind of distracted me a bit from the true objective, which was to really just to out series Chris Woodmansey was my goal.
Yeah. Oh. So Neil can replace his Madonna shirt. Rush.
He had a pink shirt a few years ago, well, 5 years ago probably now, that he lost a bet on. A guy named Craig. Was it Craig or was it?
Yeah, it was Craig. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I got to make a bet with Chris one time, and if he loses, he's got to wear the pink shirt I got of.
Well, I remember posting it years and years ago, but I'll have to wait for it to pop up on my memory wall on Facebook, and Neil posing for that shirt saying, "I'm Craig's bitch." Yeah. It is all pink shirt. So
pink shirt with a lot of bling bling.
They lost the bet.
To kind of backtrack and address Mark's Neil comment earlier about Neil not being there, I can say that being anchor bowler, those are big shoes to fill, and usually it's Neil or Gil, but that's big shoes. But I'll say this about Neil as well. Every time he faced me in the summertime, man, that guy turned into Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Yeah.
And I was just your average guy at AMF Louisville when I faced Neil.
He only does that for the competition. When he bowls Chris, though, he only bowls 550s.
Yeah.
Or he'll call in Ryan Curtis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Neil's the man when he had to face me. I tell the story all the time, and Neil sometimes gets a good laugh out of it. But every time he faced me, he's Walter Ray, and I'm just an average guy.
You're just a Chris Woodmansey.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Basically, yeah. I mean, I shoot respectably. I mean, I shoot 650, 675, and he shoots 750, 800, something like that. So it's just funny. So I give Neil a hard time about it all the time. I'm glad to join forces with these two, and I look forward to.
You're anchored now. You're moved up to 200 pins, and you're going to be anchored next week on position round.
And he's been announced, like when we had the King of the Hill last night, I think he announced Gilbert as one of the scores. It's Gilbert. He likes
Gilbert.
Gilbert. He straightened this out last night. He says, it's Gilbert.
Really?
Yes.
Gilbert. How about that?
Gilbert.
The French bowler.
French Canadian.
It sounds like a wrestler's name, Gilbert.
Yeah. French Canadian.
Sounds like when he walks in the bowling alley, he needs his own entrance music.
I agree.
Something like from.
We'll start playing Rush.
Those French wrestlers from the 90s, what were they called? The Rougeau brothers? That's what he needs, that theme music from the Rougeau brothers.
We'll be the French Canadians. They want to wear the Rush shirts, so we'll just.
Oh, yeah, exactly. The Rush tie-in, exactly.
Cue up some Tom Sawyer, and I guess we'd be good.
There you go. All three of you can walk in at the same time with a slow walk.
Grab a pizza like Roy E. Munson as I'm walking into the bowling alley. And
that's like another team of ours with the pizza. That's a Mike Ensline with the pizza. All right. So last night, Jarrod, you guys tore apart the team that was trying to get the second place to dethrone Chris, which was Boyer's Boys. Brady Bunch, BB, and Boyer's Boys, BB, Team 7 and Team 9. Your team ended up taking 38 points from them and just crushed their hopes. They were all deflated. They all come talking to me and told me how you guys did. They were just deflated.
I'll tell you what, Lee. Kiefer was, I'm going to say it straight, man. He was kicking my ass. And I didn't need it. Like I said, that third game, I had no idea 300 was going to happen, but I did know that I was out to be respectably respected against him because I was not shooting well at all, and the 211 was okay, but he still got me the first one.
And he's one of our more competitive bowlers in the league. He won the league last year. I think the year before that he took second, or he was in the top 3. He's one that always asks me when the sheets are out. Really enjoys the league, and when they won it last year, and we kept getting on to him saying he's got to defend his title and dethrone Chris. I mean, he was really wanting to get there. And last night when y'all pulled that 300 on him, I could just see it. He was so deflated.
Hey, that second game, I was pretty deflated to be
to
be honest with you guys. I mean, I finally felt what Chris Woodmansey feels every week, and at least one game every week that Chris feels it. So I felt it last night for the first time in weeks. I was just like, man, I cannot compete with this guy. I was
my average was just too high for that.
I saw that.
I'm telling you,
that first game.
Their team, the first game and the second game,
I still came back.
You sat at their table. They are so intense when they're sitting there. It's like every single ball is like they're F this and F that. They're so pissed off and they're so tense.
You say that, but look at the placement. That's why we're in first.
I bet you'd be glad when this is over, Chris, because trying to stay in first place, I mean, I've never seen you guys so intense.
Yeah, I just don't know with the sweat rolling off your forehead. You don't lose much weight.
We're the only team who lasted long in first place in the history of JV Trios.
The longest reigning first place. Is that what it is?
Yes, we're the first team who's ever done it. We're the first team.
I've never seen a team struggle so hard to stay in first, to be honest.
We're not struggling hard.
They did have a 70-pin lead at one, 70-point lead at one point.
Normally it's a cakewalk. Once you get that first place team, it's kind of like the NBA. You're going to be there. And this one, it's like, man, like that. It's just kind of.
No, it's like how can I say it? Like
it's like
everybody rooting against the Dallas Cowboys.
It's like blowing a 70-point lead all the way down to 21. and having a potential to lose it all next week.
How funny is like when we suck, when we have a bad week, so does second and third also have a bad week. So it really doesn't even make a difference.
And you know what's so funny is that when I bowled you guys last night, of course we sucked ass, but every single team comes up and looks at the standing sheet and they say, "Did Chris lose? Did Chris lose? Did y'all beat Chris?" It's like every single team just wants you to lose.
Yeah. I know. What happened to the support? Like, I thought we have a great support system.
I thought you were a good influence on everybody. What happened?
Dude, I thought people want me to win. But no.
Well, you know what happened.
What it is. Deep down, they really want you to win.
Every team that faces you wants you to lose, man. So that's just kind of it's just how that works.
But you know, it's so funny. We don't lose. We always win.
Well, just to skip to our bowling last night on our pair, my team faced Chris, as you guys heard last week. Of course, I didn't even pick my own team to win during Beat Mark's picks. It came true. Chris's team kicked our ass, but it was close.
Mark lost $20 to me.
So. It was close.
Yes, I did.
The first two games we won, but Chris's team won the last game in total pins and ended up beating us 28 out of 48.
And that's exactly what he did against us. Lost the first two games, and then they killed it the third game. Now they got a 21 pin lead. If they lose the first two games next week, boy, you're going to see.
All we have to do is win 14. There's 14 points.
The thing is, though, you lose the first two. I mean, sweat is going to be pouring down your face.
We're going to have to turn the music off and make sure the fans are turned off.
No, I'm calling it now. The first game, we're going to win all 12, and then we're coasting it.
Oh, geez.
I might just bowl blind.
I'll tell you what, man. I was hoping it was going to be us versus him. I wanted a piece of that action.
Yes, that would have been nice. That would have been nice.
You might call in sick, man.
Because how Chris, I don't know if you heard last week, Jerry, but Chris basically called your guys' team out last week, you and Neil and Gil, particularly Neil. He said that he doesn't feel like he's earned anything until he's bowled Neil and you guys, Neil's team.
I did hear that. To make one correction, it was actually me who was gone the week that you guys faced us.
Oh, that's right.
I was out sick. I listened, though, and I said, okay, I get how it goes. And I appreciated the respect for being out sick. But I said, and then last week when I heard it, I said, okay, we're getting more chalkboard material. So I appreciate all the motivation. Hey, it's a sign. Last night's just a sign of things to come, Mr. Woodman.
Hey, you know what, though? Get ready because you'll be bowling in the first week of the second half.
Oh, wow.
Is that really? Is that true?
2 weeks.
So you're saying it's an easy 40 points?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
40 points?
They're going to they're going to start you off the second half.
So you know what that means is that there's like a 3 or 4 week period where those teams that you face, you'll see them again towards the end of the second half. So, Chris, that means Neil's team is going to be one of the few teams you have to bowl twice in the second half.
Look out, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, it just got harder for you to reclaim the grand prize, the grand champion, the winner of both.
I mean, we bowled Jerry's team twice, and we crushed them every time.
Well, we'll see. Jarrod's team revealed what you guys did last night. We did Chris and myself, so now it's on to Mark. Mark's team, you guys bowled. Who did you guys bowl? You guys bowled against Team
Good Frame Gentlemen. Second place.
Man, I'd never seen so many beers on a table. I mean, last week Mark said it's an open bar, and they weren't kidding. It was just crazy. It was like they could stack them on top of each other.
Yeah. Thank you, Greg, if you're listening.
And so with that means that Greg's team took 38 out of 48 from Mark. Ridiculous. And they didn't even have the full squad. They had to have Elena bowl for Daniel, who's their high average bowler. With Elena bowling as a sub, she's now joined the team officially because it looks like Daniel may be dropping out. But they cleaned Mark's spot.
That means Elena cannot bowl next week, right?
No, she can.
No, she can't. She just if you bowl and join the team, an official fourth bowler, right before position round, as long as you got the 1 week in, you just can't join on position round night.
But she said she hadn't joined the team.
No, she did. She told me last week she's going to replace Daniel.
And you know what was a killer? We tried to give them that first game, and Alina shot a 7 drop in the 10th frame, and they lost by a pin.
Yep.
So they could have had another eight points.
Exactly. It didn't go too well for you guys that night. Although Mark, you bowled good that first game, but that second and third game got you.
Yeah. Well, I thank Greg for the beer.
You guys talk about the open tab on that table. I'm just sitting here thinking about the open season on Woodman Z when we face it. It's open season.
Yeah.
So we start at 0 points. The next 2 weeks, we start at 0 points, and we're going to have 40 at the top.
Well, you better hope you guys get that 14 points next week, because if you guys lose this lead and choke, there's going to have to be like a special 2-hour podcast.
I got that new Titanic DVD on standby for you.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I wrap it and bow it for you. That way, to rewatch what you already know.
We crushed all teams that have been leading up to this week.
Yeah, and I got to tell you,
we got Woodman Z's, and now we got Good Frame Gentlemen.
And you stole that team name, the Money Shot. Now, if you guys lose it, you got to change it to the Titanic.
Or back to ICP.
Yeah.
Fine, deal. Okay,
or like Icy Bergs.
I'll make you deal. Mark, I would change it to the Titanic if we lose. But if we don't lose, I get to name your team.
Mark's team too?
Yep. I'll change my team name to the Titanic if we lose. But if we don't lose, I get to name your team.
No, can't do that. You get too much of a lead right now. But if they take 35 on you, 35 or better, you're going to be the Titanic.
Okay, then make it bet. You're so confident that we're going to lose. You're so confident we're going to lose. Make it bet.
I mean, 14 points is not a given. If it was maybe 4 points, but 14 is not a given. I mean, that's basically...
You're right.
You have to win. You have to win at least the whole game.
Make the bet.
That's not always the given.
No.
And the way you guys have been bowling the last 2 weeks, I mean, y'all caved the first 2 games 2 weeks in a row. I would be very nervous if I was you guys.
Okay, please making your case.
Okay, look, if you lose the first 2, then I'll do it. You lose the first 2, and then we'll do a bet.
I have a question though. If Woodman Z is sweating so much, if it goes over the foul line, does that still count?
Any body part.
If you hear a little then it counts. If you hear a little buzzer, if we don't hear a buzzer, it's a free game.
You've had a lot of those, buddy.
That's the Woodman Z USBC rule officially.
Actually, the buzzer never went off on me when it was on.
So I think you've got plenty of witnesses.
Yeah, when it's off. Yeah, of course. It's called taking full advantage.
So just to finish off where we bowled last night, Team 6 bowled against Team 4. Ricky and the 2 mics against Rick and his son, Marty, who had subbed. They only ended up winning. Actually, they won 34 out of 48 against Ricky's team, even though Ricky had a really good game that middle game. He actually had the front 8, I think it was.
Yeah.
But they still lost, unfortunately. Rick and his son ended up winning. I think Rick's son bowled really good that night. And then lastly, we've got the most dangerous team in the league. I'd hit that. Dwayne, Trent, Richard. They did something that I think has been rarely done ever in our league, and they completely swept the blind. And it wasn't even close. I mean, they bowled another 2,100, almost 2,099. They just killed it. And Dwayne was hot. They didn't get any brackets, though. They don't do that, I guess, in the blind, so they can cut out early. But they swept, are currently sitting in 7th, but that's because they had forfeited one of the weeks when they were bowling really bad at the beginning. They got frustrated, and they were bowling the blind, of all things. And they said, screw it, we're not even bowling tonight. We're taking a week off and regrouping. Well, it kind of helped them in the long run because they bowled good after that, but they really regret missing that week. But another thing that hurts is the standings, because it's position round. They're way low on pins because of missing that week, and they ended up tying for 6th and 7th against Ricky and the 2 mics. So they're tied at 426, but they're missing out on the tiebreaker, which is total pins, because of missing that week. But because of that, the reward is that they get to bowl the 8th place team, which is Mark's team.
So they're going to end up in 5th. They're going to go from 7th to 5th for sure.
Which is that's what I was trying to let everybody know how lucky they are.
They are very lucky. And we've locked ourselves into the 8th spot.
Yeah, I wonder why. Because of that last place team my team, the Woodmandies, has had probably the worst season in JB Trio history for any team. We're at 38% winning percentage, which is my worst bowling I've ever done in my whole career. My two boys, Peyton and Leland, they haven't bowled any good at all. So we've earned the last place, and we're going to bowl the blind team. But even if we swept, like I'd hit that, we'd still be in last. That's how pathetic we are.
Mhm.
So those are your bottom four teams that's coming up on position round.
It's the name that jinxed you guys.
The name killed us.
I believe that.
That's a perfect name. It's just the players. You can. It's just like a ball. When people say, "Oh, my ball's not doing what I wanted," no, it's not the ball. It's the player.
Oh, we didn't say none of that last night. We took our butt whipping like a man, and we took it in the chin, and you guys whipped our ass.
Yeah, but it's not the team name that's messing you up bad. It's the players.
Well, we'll see what happens. We are definitely changing our team name in the second half. We'll see what happens.
There's no
I'd
need
be
for
willing to bet anybody that we're not going to be in last place with that team name change.
And our team might have finished second to last, but you did bring up a point, Lee, where 3 of the top 4 scores in this first half were shot against us.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, you guys bring out the best in every single bowler.
Yeah.
I think even, Jarrod, didn't you guys bowl one of those 2100s against Mark's team, or was that a different team?
I believe it was against the Merchant crew, man. I think so. Funny because, like I said, his team's always pretty tough, man. They bowled decent, but we bowled better kind of situation with them.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard on one of the earlier episodes, we had talked about you guys being, if we did like a preseason ranking, almost every team in the league was talking about your team specifically. It was kind of like, in the NBA when you get all the best players stacking a team, like the Warriors. You guys are basically like the Warriors. I mean, everybody was talking about you guys, saying you would only bowl with each other, and you guys basically recruited each other, formed this all-star team.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, didn't kind of pan out. It had a bad start.
Especially, you guys were definitely up there, especially after you sandbagged on 1 and 2. You guys sandbagged on 1 and 2, and your averages were about 160s.
Hey, you bowl on a sports shot fresh. I mean, that's just kind of what happens. You just kind of unexpected, You just kind of
Yeah, it was tough.
Roll with it.
I remember that week. It was like week 2. I think it was week 2 against I'd hit that.
I mean, I never saw Neil clear out of the bowling alley so quickly after that. What surprised me, I would have been happy as anything because you guys took 34.
You guys
took like 34 points. You guys averaged 160s for the night.
I think you guys bowled like 1,600. That's how low it was.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was not good.
It wasn't a good start, but you guys had a great finish. We're going to do another preseason poll before the next half. I think I know who I'm going to put first. I'm definitely going to put you guys first.
Hey, look at that. Let's see.
Wait,
I appreciate it.
Let's recap. Didn't you say that in the beginning of the season that you're going to put their team in first?
I did, but we're not bowling on 1 and 2. We're not even getting close to the end.
Or a sports shot.
Exactly.
And
there's no way. Let me clarify something, gentlemen. There is no way I bowl that series on a house shot. Absolutely not. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, it has been a while since I bowled a sport pattern league, and I bowled a couple of them, but there's no way that is a house shot that day on that pair, and maybe even the whole league. I don't even know, but so I mean. It's okay. I mean, it happens. So
it does.
We bounce back, and we're
and you guys did,
and we're back. And we've just been using.
They bounced back to third. That's it.
Back to third. Hey, top 3. That's not bad.
Well,
it's not first, but okay.
Your goal is to get to the big game and win it, not to just get.
That's true.
You ever heard of the saying? If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah, I've heard it. We're chipping away, man. We're ready. I want the first session, second session winner, showdown. That's my goal because I'd love to have that.
I mean, I hope you're there with the popcorn in your hand and giant tree next. I'm hoping you're there.
Yeah, when you're in third place, you're the pair that's next to first, so you'll be first row.
The prize funds came out yesterday voting against the high amount for the first place team.
Wow.
Yeah, never saw so much influence from Chris's team. The whole league practically voted for C.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't worry about it. It's only if you come in second or
You know
third,
what?
it's the difference of a
And
steak
you know what?
dinner.
I think I pissed off Mike. I pissed off Mike Henderson, not Henderson, but Ensline, because I said whoever voted for option C must really suck at bowling in the league. That they need more money just to compensate that shit.
I won't say what we voted for, but we didn't do C. So I remember C was probably the low one for first place. Is that correct?
That was the low one,
Only
yeah.
people who suck in the league voted for C because they can't make it to the top 4. So
I believe it's probably the same people who wanted the extra handicap. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris.
yeah, no, I 100% believe that.
What is it? 100%? It's obviously not 100, but I was like, it just kind of caught me off guard. What are we doing? So,
And you know what's so funny? At the beginning of the league, when we voted for that, I told myself I'm gonna beat every motherfucker in the to prove them even with this handicap that they can't even beat me.
It's probably one of our higher prize funds that we've had, but now it's going to be like so even. It's like you might as well be first or last.
Yeah. But I think it wasn't so much where people were in the standings as who was in first that people voted for C.
Yeah. So,
But
Chris, we need you to.
the only thing that I'm kind of mad about is why did we do the pots so late in the half where it was so easy to determine the numbers, the setting, where if we did it like 8 weeks ago, it was still in the air for many teams.
Sometimes we like to wait in case there's teams that join and things of that sort.
And I think weren't you like 72-point lead back 8 weeks ago?
Yeah.
It would have been the same.
I think
it would have been the same.
Oh, man. Just some more information about the standings for next week, our upcoming position round. Funny thing, we got 9 teams, but there's only 2 teams under 500. Mine, of course, you heard our winning percentage at 38%. We only got 300 wins compared to 816 total wins. And then we've got balls. Mark's team is the only other team that's under 50%. They're at 45.2%. But everybody else, the rest of the teams, all 7 teams that we got, they're all above 50%.
Thanks to us.
Exactly. They all beat us.
I mean, we're above 60%. So, I mean.
Oh, yeah. Third place and fourth, we got Brady Bunch, which is, of course, Jarrod, and then Neil and Gil. They're going to bowl against Boyer's Boys. Pocket Pounders is in 5th. They're going to bowl against Ricky and the 2 Mikes. 2 teams that have made it to first and second, of course, as you've heard many episodes, the money shot, Chris's team.
This. Go ahead.
And first, hit record.
Yep.
All right, the money shot, Chris's team, the highest average in the league for several weeks, highest point total in the league for several weeks.
Oh, yeah, so beautiful.
61%, almost 62% winning percentage. The only team that's got 500 points or more, 505, the money shot, Chris's team.
Woo!
So they're in first. They're going to be bowling against Good Frame Gentlemen. Let's see what happens. There's a 21 point difference, 505 to 484. So that means Chris's team, as you heard earlier, he only has to take 14 points to claim first place of the first half.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't, it'll be the biggest collapse in JB Trio history.
And
the Titanic would be as big as collapse as this.
I mean, the Titanic, you would make the Titanic proud. If this, in fact, does not go your way. And, so, I mean, next week, I don't know who to root for on that one.
We're about to do the picks, and you'll see.
You'd have people buying Titanic tickets that would avoid watching this.
I saw the exhibit a few times, so I'll bring my 3rd class ticket in just for jinxing purposes, Chris.
Wait, I think the age is above 40, so once you're above that, you're good. You're going to go fucking for free.
Hey. So
y'all are both, basically Mark.
This 40-year-old still got it, in case you didn't win the site yesterday, my friend.
Oh. Ooh. So he'll put his 40 against your 28 anytime.
No, what? I think that was a fluke because Neil wasn't here, and then you had a lot of pressure being anchor, and you had to prove something. But once Neil's back, and then boom, it's gone.
I'll tell you, Chris, I think you might just have to stick to your wee bowling to try to get a 300.
No, wait, on there, 300, okay?
Oh man. All
Well,
right.
if it really gets hairy next week, you got to go live for that last game.
If Chris's team doesn't win that 14 points by the third game, we are going live, and I'm going to have them turn the music down so that way there's no distractions. You can hear every pin drop. You can hear every single thing.
Or every pin not drop, because
that
can hear not drop, exactly.
And you could hear every curse word.
Every split, every sweat drop hit the ground. I mean, it's going to be probably we're going to have to call it our bonus episode or our best episode finale. It'll be legendary. We'll call it the Titanic episode.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. And then when we win,
if Woodmansey loses, we'll call it the iceberg episode.
The iceberg episode, exactly.
It's going to be. Damn it! I had something in my head.
Shit.
It's going to be
just like exactly.
His name's going to be changed.
If there's anything that represents what's going to happen next week, it just happened.
Yeah, we're going to change the league name. How was this? This is going to be Chris beat all y'all.
Or it's Chris's league. Is that it? All right. Our most famous segment, JB Trios, which we haven't done since season 2, since we haven't had a guest, and that is Chris probes the guest. Oh, God. Oh, God. I don't know if I feel good for Chris or bad for Jarrod.
Yeah, that happened. Chris probes a guest. Today we have Jarrod Gallagher. Jarrod, welcome to Chris Probes, the first of the season, where I ask you a series of questions, good and bad. Just tell me the truth. If it's too personal, just tell me anyways. And then we're basically going to get to know you. We're going to probe inside you so hard and so dry, we're going to get to know the Jarrod.
Oh, God.
Appreciate that, gentlemen.
Don't say we didn't warn you.
All right, Jarrod. How long have you been bowling? From the years you started to now? How long?
Age 12. I began bowling at age 12. I started basically just by going open bowling. It was my friend who actually just recently passed away, whom I've known since age 5, who got me into it. He literally is the sole reason I began bowling.
We're sorry to hear about that. You dedicated your 300 to him.
I did. I definitely tell that story maybe at the end of this probing, but I definitely would love to share that. But it's he literally is the reason I went. He was a close family friend for all those years, and really more than a friend. I mean, he was really a second father to my sister and I, and so it's kind of that relationship we always had, and yeah, that's really how I started.
That's good. That's a good start. So you sound like you were good bowling when you were younger. Was there any collegiate or high school?
I didn't do any bowling college. I did go to. It wasn't even available at that point for where I was going. But in high school, obviously I bowled junior leagues, took those very seriously. As far as in my actual high school, there was a bowling class, which I killed it because freshman when I took it, I was the best bowler on the team in a class full of juniors and seniors, really. Kind of funny because I was telling my wife this the other day that there was one day where I shot a no-tap 300, a 9 no-tap 300, and all the seniors were just ticked off because they couldn't even shoot 150 no-tap. It was kind of funny because I shoot this no-tap 300 and then we get on the bus to go back to the school and their seniors and juniors are picking on me, and giving me a hard time. And this probably the cutest girl in the class, she stands up and starts yelling at him and just saying, you're pissed because he's better than you guys and all this stuff. So it was kind of cool. He's a freshman to have a junior chick stick up for you. And
then you married her.
That's as close as Chris has gotten to a 300 game no tap.
I do have a no tap 300. So.
That's right.
All right. Okay. I mean, it's good to know. Any honor scores that we don't know about other than your 2 300s?
That's, sanction wise, I only have the 2. I have a few practice 300s. What's funny is I actually went on a company retreat in Salt Lake City, Utah for an old company I used to work for. And the night activity was bowling. Literally all I had with me was I took a strike ball and a spare ball. I knew we were going to be bowl. And what's funny is the first game I shot 184, kind of similar to last night. You had to make an adjustment. I made In that case, I made a little adjustment with my hand position on the ball. And then the next game, because we were only bowling 2 games at that night out activity, and the second game I shoot 300, which is in front of all my managers and peers. And I was a new manager at the time. It's kind of crazy how it happened, but exciting. And I still have that printout, so it's just kind of funny that worked out the way it did. But yeah, really, the 800 is something I'm still chasing. 775 is the highest I've ever gotten. The 800 is definitely, in my personal opinion, a lot harder than the 300.
Yes, it is.
And it's you're averaging 267 a game basically, so it's kind of that's a mecca of all meccas there if you can get it.
That's it. And one question I've got actually for you, Jarrod, is those times growing up bowling in youth and throughout, was that in Kansas City, or when did you live in Kansas City?
Never did, man. I've always been a Chiefs fan. I grew up in Denver, Colorado, man.
How did that happen?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I have nothing but Broncos family members. I've never liked the Broncos, and it's kind of funny because I couldn't stand John Elway, and I used to love that Derek Thomas would get a hold of him and just sack him.
Wow.
So,
yeah. That's like growing up in Philadelphia being a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, there you go. I grew up in Denver, born and raised in Colorado, and yeah, definitely my wife is a Broncos fan, and
oh wow.
That's kind of tough on a relationship sometimes.
It is. Yeah.
It's funny. And yeah, so I've always had those roots there, but yeah, just always been a Chiefs fan.
Nice.
You should get are you into football? NFL?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
You should get in our little pool that we run every week, $10 pool.
I might have to.
You know?
Parlay.
Yeah. We'll have to ask you here. I know they got one more week. We're going to do something for the playoffs too.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask you this upcoming Tuesday.
Fair enough.
Okay. Jarrod, so when bowling in this league, I know this is your second season with us. When bowling and meeting everyone, who do you feel is your biggest competitor or a team to go against, whether it's a single person or a team?
Uh-oh, let's get ready for this.
Oh, man. Should I go summer and fall?
Either one. You're two.
So I'll give you both. Mm-hmm. Summertime, my biggest kryptonite was Neil. Neil, for whatever reason, like I said, he turned it on against me, and then I think we had to face them rightly for a place in the
finals, yeah.
And then we just couldn't get it done. I didn't shoot horribly, but we didn't shoot good. Mike and I just had trouble again. I mean, Neil was that kryptonite, man. I just could not get over the hump there. And my hat's off to him. He rolled a hell of a ball. And as far as the fall goes, now to be fair, I have not faced Mr. Woodmansey. I don't think I could put in the ranks. I would say
not good.
Mark Merchant's team is they're a handful, man. And when we faced them, I don't know what it was now, probably like 7-8 weeks ago. They were a team that we knew it was going to be a tough battle, and not that any other team isn't, because it's like any given Sunday, right? Anybody can just turn on the extra something that gets them going. So I mean, Mark, and Ron, all those guys, man, they're tough. It's they're probably the ones.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. It makes sense. You haven't gone against
He was hoping you were going to say him.
I gotta be honest. I mean, I haven't faced him.
Against me.
But I will say this. I mean, I do hope that when I do have the privilege of facing Mr. Woodmansey, that I am the anchor bowler. And
there you go.
Well, it will be in 2 weeks, and you'll find it being a very easy match. To start the second half off.
What a privilege it would be to maybe shoot my first 800 against Chris Woodmansey.
Oh, man.
My first 300, right?
I mean, you can have the 3 as long as I have the 8. That's all I'll tell you.
Yeah, Chris will have the 300, and then he'll have 150 the other game.
So this is a 2-part question. Do you feel like you bowl better when Neil isn't there?
No. I actually think that Neil being there is huge for us.
But he wasn't there for your 300.
He wasn't, but Neil had to work and things happened, man.
Oh, man.
Have you bowled a 300 with Neil there?
Obviously not. I wish I could have bowled it against him, though, when I had to face him in the summertime, because that's probably when I needed it the most.
Okay, last question. If you could put the best 3 people together, and all the people in our league, 3 people to be on your team, you're the captain, you pick 2 people from the whole league to be on your team, who would they be?
I'd throw Neil Gill on my team because that's the team, man. We are the team. We're not giving up on that.
Well, let's just say that Neil and Gil don't listen to the podcast. So who would it really be?
Who would it be? If Neil and you're saying if Neil and Gil were not an option?
No. If Gil doesn't listen to the podcast, so they don't hear this, what you're saying, because you're saying that because they're teammates and you want.
Oh, he's setting you up. Neil listens.
No, I would still go with Neil and Gil, man. I believe in our team. I believe we still have as much of a shot as maybe not anyone else,
but Neil and Gilbert came to me for a trade for you two for me. So
he did not.
For me.
He's just trying to suck up to you because he knows that in that second half that his team, if they take first, they got to bowl that second half winner, which is more than likely going to be you guys. So he's just trying to suck up to you guys now.
I get it. I mean, I know where he's going. I mean, but we're coming for it, man. I'm telling you.
And then will you be bowling in the summer?
As long as everything works out, and obviously with my work schedule and different things, yeah, absolutely.
You want to lock in a partner with me?
Oh God, he's already recruiting already.
Yeah, I mean, we're 5 months away, gentlemen.
Let me answer that for you.
Oh hell no! You're gonna do that one?
I think that did sound like Jarrod.
What would you say, Jarrod?
I can't make decisions like that without weighing my options carefully.
That sounds like a no to me.
I'm clearly the best suitable.
Jarrod, if you heard our other seasons, he recruits even before the second half is finished. So that surprised me.
He was trying. I mean, he was trying hard when we were putting together this dream team, and
I know.
I mean, and it just didn't work out because and then it didn't sound like he wanted his own teammates on this team.
I know, you're right. I think I remember at the beginning when we first got week one started, he's like, "Oh, Jarrod's not here. They told me to take his place." He tried to mess with us.
Yeah, I feel like he was kind of ousting his own teammates, and I felt bad for him because I was like, "Man, you guys want to sub for us anytime? You're welcome." But
I hope Christian and Brian listen to this particular episode going into next week. That way there's a little bit of turmoil as well. Chris, you'll have to take back your words there at the beginning.
I love my team, and we're good friends, but I like to win. And what's so funny? To all my teammates, I set the contract in front of them, and I state the contract where, hey, I want a contract, and I'll do anything in my power to win.
Well, how come you have them sign it in blood? You don't have to sign it at all.
So, yeah. So, I mean, you don't see my wife bowling this year. So
exactly. I was going to bring up that very same thing. I said,
she's my wife.
Kick your wife off the team.
So,
man,
my wife been my partner for so long.
That's tough, man. I mean, there's that's cold-blooded stuff there, man.
It's how bad I want to win.
Well, she wanted to win even worse. So I remember in those earlier episodes from the previous season, those car rides home, how we always had to hear about what happened on the way home.
Let's be honest, gentlemen. She wanted to win when she picked a husband home.
And she picked a winner.
Oh, no. Well, she definitely got the Woodman these.
Well, thank you, Jerry, for doing our probes, and it was awesome.
Sure. No, I appreciate that, and I could tell you the story real quickly if you'd like. And
sure,
the whole thing, like with yesterday, and I kind of said it on the video, but when I was a junior bowler, I was probably 14 or 15 years old. I was bowling a tournament in Loveland, Colorado at Sweetheart Lanes, and I ended up, I think at the time I might have had a Columbia 300 Beast, the original one.
Oh wow!
And so wasn't really. Ball. Yeah, man. So during practice, I wasn't really hitting it well at all. And then so my friend Tony, he had the old Cuda C, the 95 versions. You're talking the original, and our hand measurements were very close to the same. He actually had his equipment with him, and he wasn't bowling, but he had it with him, and he pulled it out of the bag, and he's like, "You try this." And so I started rolling that ball, shoot 248. I shoot a 250 something. I end up winning my division for the tournament at the Mile High Tour that day. Ever since then, that ball, like I know it's not the Cuda C currently because it's a new one, but that ball has that nostalgia to it.
Yeah.
I literally got these 2 new bowling balls when I was in Colorado for Christmas from a friend of mine who was able to, is a rep for one of the bowling ball companies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he gave me 2 new bowling balls, and I literally told my wife last night that I said, I'm going to take this one and get it drilled.
Wow.
Tonight before league. And I literally got there. I can't remember the gentleman's name in the pro shop, but I told him, drill it up, man. And yeah, I let him look at my Black Widow. And
usually Josh is there running it after he's done bowling.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't remember his name. I can't remember.
Does he have a big black beard?
He had a beard for sure. I don't think it was the owner guy though.
Oh, okay.
Dino owns it.
Brandon.
He's the pro bowler.
Yeah, I've met him before, but yeah, it was the other guy, a little shorter guy.
Big? Was he big?
Yeah, I don't know about big, but like he was just shorter and stocky.
Yeah. Brandon.
Yeah, he was in there and told him drill it up, and it's just funny because the Cuda, like I said, it brings those memories back, and that's the only reason I really wanted it. So when my buddy back home in Colorado ordered it for me, that's really why I wanted it, was just more the nostalgia of the ball. I didn't expect to do what I did, obviously, but I'll tell you what, man. I mean, I felt the presence of my friend with me that whole game, especially that 10th frame, and anybody can say or believe or feel how they want to, with that stuff. But for me, I just felt it. I mean, he was my mentor and coach for so many years, all the way through adult bowling, and it just kind of it resonated well with me. And I'm gonna miss him, and it's just kind of I just came full circle really because it's the Cuda, just it's a ball.
Special ball and special story and special
good story.
So.
Yeah, and what's funny about it is his son. I just talked to his son earlier today because we were getting ready to plan all the arrangements and stuff. But talked to his son briefly today, and he gave me his congrats. But his son actually has that Cuda. So,
oh wow,
27-year-old, 28-year-old bowling ball now.
Wow,
I mean, like it's crazy. But I was just talking to him about it, and he has that bowling ball. So the Cuda C is still alive and well. I mean, it's
sure
an older ball.
Man, that's so cool. That is cool.
That's a good story.
I'm glad it happened. That was awesome. We got it on video. So
I appreciate that. I mean, because they didn't have video. The video was this way anyway. When I did my first one in 03,
exactly.
my first one in 03 was kind of those flip phones that had the little rotating camera.
Oh god, yeah. They
Horrible
recorded
quality.
in like 40K.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's great. And we appreciate that. Now on to the 800. So hopefully that'll be coming soon. Maybe in 2 weeks against Chris.
I really hope it's in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Here we go with another segment of Beat Mark's Picks. Recapping last week, Mark failed with a 2 wins, 3 losses, and Chris 4-1 for the week.
Ooh, baby.
What? Chris won 4-1.
I told you I go 5-0 right here, man. I told you.
Yeah, you said 5-0. You went 4-1. But to recap the totals, 31 wins, 23 losses, 1 tie. Mark, Lee, 31, 23-1. So it's a first place tie.
Wow. How about that?
Chris, still under 500, 26 wins, 28 losses, and 1 tie.
Cashing up 26.
26, yeah.
He says he can only bowl. He can't pick them. He can only bowl over first place, not pick them.
Yeah.
Well, I think that might shut him out, though. If me or Mark get 1 point, at least 1 win, that shuts out Chris because you got to get more than 5 points on his only 5 picks.
Yeah.
So I think you're done, Chris.
No.
Another losing season for Beat Mark's Picks for Chris.
No.
All right, so why don't we go in reverse order because I want to save first place for last. First, obviously, being the worst, is my team. We're going against the blind. I don't even know if this will be unanimous because that's how bad we're bowling. But the last time I can say that we bowled the blind, we did win, and that was our only win we've had. It's been about a 2-month period before we've had to win against a real team. So I do have faith that we're going to bowl the blind, so I'm actually going to pick my team to win.
Ooh. This is a perfect setup for you guys to bag it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You ain't going anywhere out of that 9th spot.
We could pull Brady Bunch and bowl like they did on 1 and 2.
Yeah, you could average 140 for the night. You ain't moving out of that 9th spot.
Well, we got to earn our keychain.
Yeah. I think you guys will definitely cover that. Bowling the vacancy.
Yeah.
Although it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 26 to 22 game. So.
Oh, we're going to cover it, but barely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the good thing is tonight we got a guest with us. So, Jarrod, what do you think?
I'll go 30-18 for Lee's team.
Oh, hey, I got a unanimous sweep.
Leaves in y'all.
Wow. Now, if that isn't the perfect kibosh, we're going to get our ass kicked against the blind.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, next is 7th against 8th place. That's I'd hit that. The hottest team in the league right now. They haven't lost in 2 months against Mark's team, which is kind of going the opposite. I'm going to let Mark go first this time.
Oh, man, this is real easy pick. No doubt about it. I'd hit that all day.
This is open bar night 2.
Yeah, they are going to crush us. And I got to get that average down for the second half.
Oh, man. All right. Man, how do I follow that up? Mark, you guys are so due for a win, but I can't go against I'd hit that. I mean, especially after last week, not even the blind can get a point on them. So I'm going with I'd hit that. I just have it. It'll probably be close. It'll probably be a 26-22, but I just have to give them the edge. Hey, what's the spread, by the way, Mark?
Yeah, they don't quite get an extra bowler like they had last time we bowl them. We were giving them like 100 and something pins. This time it's 57.
57, even that's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going with I'd hit that.
That's a smart move.
What do you got, Chris?
I'm going with I hit that because I want Mark to lose.
Big surprise.
So, he already owes me $50 on top of a 20, so $70. So, yeah.
Did you pay him his NFL winnings from last week?
Yeah, he gave me 10.
Yeah, I owed him because we.
Oh, that's right.
He owed me another 20 back then.
Oh, wow.
But just remember, you got to climb into Christian's monster truck.
I know. He hasn't even paid you the ultimate bet. I put a hold on that $50.
I am until he climbs into that truck, and we filmed.
Exactly.
I hate that because I saw them bowling right next to me against vacancy. Man, they're stupid. They're annoying and stupid. Man.
I think that's the first time anybody ever has claimed any other team being stupid.
No,
Dwayne, if you're listening, I think that's good revenge chalkboard material for next time you bowl them.
They were just getting lucky, like every shot.
And lucky, stupid and lucky. Oh, jeez. All right, Jarrod, what do you got? You think Mark's going to make a comeback?
I think the Merchant squad's going to go 28-20.
What?
Wow.
Ooh.
What?
All right, so you heard it here. We got our first mix.
I think Mark figures it out this week. I just think when he faces us, he figures it out.
So, Mark, you got to try now.
I feel like
this team, it's going to be a lot of drinking going on. So on both sides,
some bowlers get better when they're drinking. I used to have a guy that his average just climbed when he started drinking. I'm like, well, hell, man, let's keep you drunk.
Yeah, and these guys do shots.
You have to come up with something, Mark. You have to do maybe how with Michael Ensline, you get to buy pizza.
Yeah.
Or Henderson, you buy Henderson a few extra shots. You have to do that with the I'd hit that.
Yeah.
You got to find their kryptonite.
No, I hit that. All you have to do is say the bar is closed.
Oh,
yeah. Tell them the bar is closed.
Close the bar at 10 o'clock. Oh, no.
Yeah. Make it
and they will go home. They will just go home.
That's funny.
Forfeit. They're going to forfeit that game.
All right, so it's 3-1 against Mark's team, but he'll tell you himself it's probably the wise bet. Next, we've got fifth place against sixth place. Pocket Pounders against Ricky and the two Mikes. Kind of a tough one. Mark, what's the spread on this?
Ricky and the two Mikes are getting 95 pins. Ooh. That's like an extra bowler.
They just actually bowled each other.
They did. They
this
just
past-
actually.
I just realized that.
Yeah, they did.
Based on that right there, I'm not even going to think about the spread, even though that's a lot of pins. Just based on last night, the Pocket Pounders beat them by more than 30. I can't see why it wouldn't happen again, so I'm going to have to give it to the Pocket Pounders.
Well, if they wanted to beat the boys, they'll have to get a lot of points right here, so taking majority. So I'm going for the Pocket Pounder only because they're really close to take fourth.
I'm going to do the same. I mean, I think Lee, like you, at first I was definitely going to go with the 95 pins. That's an extra guy.
Yeah.
But when I saw that they did bowl last night, Ricky and the two mics dropped 34. It kind of swinged me the other way.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like when you get the pros that bowl or they play each other nearly heads up within a few weeks and it's the same outcome. I think it's going to be kind of like the same thing here. Kind of like in college football when they get close to the end and then you got the championship game and then they play each other again. Although that's kind of opposite. Yeah, I think in this case that'll probably be the way to go.
Man, I tell you what, that is a tough one because I know Ricky and the two mics, you know, that's such a wild card with them sometimes, man.
Yeah.
They start rolling and then they start hitting the pocket and make strikes. I know for me that's a tough one, but I'll stick with the Pocket Pounders. I mean, they'll edge them out. Maybe.
Okay. That's a unanimous vote then. It is kind of true. Mike Ensline, when he's hot, I mean, their team can either win 40 or lose 40. He'll tell you himself.
Yeah. You know, this might have been the first week Henderson kind of struggled a bit.
Yeah, he did. I was going to say that. He did struggle last night.
Because he'd been bowling good till that point.
Kind of off. Yeah, he was. He was getting in brackets and he was doing really good. And I guess the NFL picks caught up to him. He hasn't been doing so good on his NFL picks lately. All right, next we've got Team 7 and 9 bowling for 3rd and 4th. The Brady Bunch and the Boyers Boys. Another rematch between last week and this week. We got 2 rematches.
You already know what I'm going to say.
Exactly.
I think we could take 3rd place, man. Maybe 2nd. I don't know what the point spread is there. Not sure what the point spread is there, but not that
Mark, what's the spread?
It's only a 22 pin handicap difference. Yeah, that's not a lot.
It's pretty close then.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's because you got the revenge factor too. I mean, because they were pumped up at the beginning. They were second for several weeks. They had it in their minds wrapped, and they were set to bowl Chris for the finals. Them losing out last night, I mean, going from bowling 2,100 against Mark or 2,200 against Mark's team a month ago. Sorry to bring it up again, Mark.
Yeah.
To go on what they did last night against the 300 and how it all panned out. They were so deflated. So you got to think of the revenge factor. You know, Jarrod, your team, I've always said is going to be the number 1 polling team in the league. I'm going to go with you guys. I'm going to put some faith in you guys, and we appreciate you being our guests. I'm going to pick Jarrod's team. I'm going with Jarrod and the Brady Bunch.
And yeah, I mean, I can see why you went with them. Out of pity, because Jarrod's our guest. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I mean, he has good manners, bedside manners. It's a close game. I mean, if we take majority, good frame gentlemen, I mean, the Boyer and Brady Bunch kills the Boyers and takes majority, I mean, they can easily take second. Easily take second if we do our job.
It's a tough predicament because I kind of want to not see you do your job. So.
That is a prediction. I didn't think about that. Brady Bunch and Jarrod, they want you to win, Chris.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because we want them to win, but then we don't. So, I mean, we want them to definitely win 13 points and not 14.
Well, you know, if they take 14, that puts them at 519. Yeah, that'll be just 3 point. Like if you swept and went 48, that only puts you at 515. They swept you out of first, so there's no first place option. Might as well try your best to get second.
It's only a difference of a steak dinner anyways.
Good thing that prize fund carried through.
I'm going to go for the Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch, all right.
I'm going with the Brady Bunch too there. Just 22 pins, not a lot.
So it's a unanimous. Well, Jarrod, you just got probably kiboshed with that unanimous pick.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
All right.
The big match.
The pick of the night, first place. Yeah. The money shot against Good Frame Gentlemen. And Chris, do us the honors and let us know that you're going to pick yourself.
I am going to pick myself.
Well, geez, the way it sounded right there, it sounded like that's not the only thing you did to yourself.
Yeah, of course I'm going to pick myself. Come on.
What's the spread on this?
Okay, the spread on this is 23 pens. So 23 to Good Frame Gentlemen, and that's with Alina bowling.
Now, we're not picking if they win first. So
No, right. It's just
whoever wins 25 or more. Because they need 35 to win first.
This match, though, when I look at it, look at Chris is picking himself, Team 5. His picks so far this half have been under 500. That leads me to believe that Good Frame Gentleman's going to win this match.
Yeah.
May not win first, but will win this match.
Intensity that has been building up over the weeks. Chris's team trying to hang on to first. I mean, they are literally clawing, trying to hang on. And I had firsthand bowling them last night on how that looks. And just you could feel the heat just coming off their table on how nervous they were when we beat them the first 2 games. 2 weeks in a row, they lost the first 2 games. They'll probably win the league and win 35, but I'm actually going with Good Frame Gentlemen to win for the Beat Marks picks.
Wow. Thanks, Lee.
No, it's going to be close. I'm going with Good Frame Gentlemen, only because Greg's been bowling really, really good.
Thanks for the support, Lee.
Hey, I said you guys are probably going to win first.
I'm definitely taking Good Frame Gentlemen. You have to. You have
wishful thinking.
Like you said. I mean, firsthand saw it 2 weeks ago where Chris dropped the first 2, and I never saw so much sweat off his forehead there towards the end. And thank God for Christian, who just went ballistic the 3rd game there to.
I had the front 5 that game.
Wrap it up. Yeah, but as you say, front 5 is your average.
Front 5, and then they only had 150, was it, or 160?
I mean, there are no such things as the pity pick. There's just better teams. I think this is a tough one. Obviously, you're first and you're second, but I'm going with the Good Frame Gentleman. I obviously don't want that at the same time because it gets us a steak dinner extra. But if we can do our job anyway, and then. But yeah, so I think the Good Frame Gentleman can come out swinging on this one and somehow break that curse of that 3rd game that everyone seems to lose to Woodman Z. And
yeah,
that's 3-1 that we think Good Frame Gentleman's going to beat Chris. Now that's how we think on Beat Mark's picks, which is 25 points or more. But how about we pick who we think is going to win first place in the league? Chris, all you guys got to do is win 14 points. But it's going to be the biggest 14 points that you guys have ever had, probably in your lives, because this is just the pressure buildup that you guys have put on yourselves for the last 3 months that y'all have had first. It's like, I can't imagine these 14 points being so easy.
It will be.
I think you guys will win first. I don't know if you'll win the night. That's why I picked Good Frame Gentlemen, but I think you guys will win first.
Yeah, I think they'll sweat it, but I think they'll probably do it as well.
What, Mark? Which you said again?
I think you're going to sweat big time.
Oh.
And make sure you leave those sweatpants you had a couple of weeks ago.
Hey, no, Mom, so
the ones with the holes in them.
Yeah, he had to staple those things.
You ended up bowling better with that hole added.
My mom sold those. I wore them Tuesday.
Jeez. But, hey, Lee, I want to do something a little different, too. I think we should have Jarrod at least give us his choices for next week, but the week after, because he is bowling Chris's team to start off that second half.
Oh, wow. How about that? So just individually, okay. So
this was rolled.
in 2 weeks when it's all over and there's no more everybody's got back to 0 points. It's Chris against Jarrod, heads up, anchor against anchor, team versus team. Chris has never faced Jarrod, not even in the summer, I don't think. Maybe in the summer, but I'm going to have to give the edge to who I think polls number one. I'm going to go with Jarrod's team, the Brady Bunch.
What? Wow.
Because you guys will be so relieved that the first half is over and you're bowling a new half. You won't care anymore because you're locked in the first place. And so it'll be a big relief, and you guys will take probably a couple weeks off.
Did not see that coming.
I tell you, I look at it like you guys know you have no shot of winning the second half, so you're going to bag it. You're going to bag it.
Going to bag
the
it
second half.
The average low.
Get your average down so you could win the $120 grand prize.
And host the banquet.
Yes.
The goal is both halves. That's our goal.
All right. Let's see. Between Chris and Jarrod. How about, all right, we'll let the champion do the honors. Do you want to pick first, champion Chris, or do you want to let Jarrod go pick first?
Jarrod pick.
All right.
Oh, man. So I'm picking between us and the Woodman?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I'm not even – I'll just put it this way, gentlemen. I'm not even scared. There's literally – my hand is level right now. If there were a camera on my hand, it's level, not shaking.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
So that's even bowling heads up against Chris. You individual points against Chris. You're even going to beat him heads up.
That's going to – I'll give Chris his due. I mean, it's going to be a tough match.
The lights will be on.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that the center lights will be on as well, but it wouldn't matter, man. If we were bowling, moonlight bowling, man, it wouldn't
matter. That's strong. That is strong, man. I don't know if Chris, can you come on that strong?
That's a good one. That's a good one. Me, I mean, no team can compare to me. Of course, I'm gonna vote for my team because I'm on the team, and no team is to my level. So every team's gonna be.
I got faith in you guys.
I always say, I even say to my own teammates, it's too easy to strike on these lanes. I say them all the time because I'm striking.
I don't know. I saw some issues last night on your
I found it.
First shots. I mean, Peyton was giving you a run, man.
I know. It looked like you were scolding your team there for a minute.
Camilla was getting in my head. I said.
Is she going to be your good luck charm this upcoming or in 2 weeks? I mean, is she going to be there to make sure you keep a level head there, Woodman, when you're taking them L's? Or
I kind of hope not, but
when she rides in the car ride home with him, she yells at him because he bowls bad.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to bowl bad, but it's also one thing to bowl bad and take them L's.
No, don't take L's.
I bet you if you asked her who she would take Brady Bunch.
No. No, what ask her to help us is I won't say nothing until next Tuesday, and we'll ask her together.
I would love to hear it. Actually, I want. Yeah. Is she going to be there? Because I want to be there to witness.
There's a possibility.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
When he says possibility, that's no way. That's what that means. That's what that means.
He wants to come out,
man. If she comes up and Chris loses this championship,
I blame her.
It's the biggest Titanic. She's just going to take off and drive home. She's going to make him walk home.
Yeah, that's so true. No, it's not going to happen because we're going to win it, guys. Come on.
I'm telling you, Chris, 14 points is not an easy task. I mean,
next half we're going to win first place, and then when you say, "Oh, all right, the winner of the halves go bowl against each other," it's going to be us bowling against ourselves. Like, no one's going to be in there.
But I mean, just the last 2 weeks is proof that you guys are having a tough time with the first 2 games. I mean, it's just hope that nothing bad happens for your sake. I mean, this would be the biggest choke in the history of choke jobs.
Man, I see like a bad omen with y'all talking about that.
Well, it is. It's not just us talking. It's your whole team. I mean, your guys' nervousness level at the table, I mean, it was just insane.
And just put it this way, this will be one record you guys can actually hold.
Well, I mean, it would be coined the Woodmansey. I mean, it only would fit.
Yeah. If we lose, if we don't get first place, but for the half, that'd be the biggest Woodmansey's award I've ever seen.
We need a trophy for that.
Yeah, and you'd be a record holder. JB, a record holder.
I think we just Lee just start creating the trophy now. I think.
Oh, the plaque. We have to make the Woodmansey plaque. We'll have the first place plaque, of course, but then we'll have the second place plaque, the Woodmansey plaque.
I need a picture, an outline of the Titanic when it's sinking.
Oh my God.
On that plaque, because that's what it'll look like with the iceberg in the background, kind of.
I've got a meme generator on my phone, and I'm going to start making the memes right now. Well, Chris, if you guys win, I mean, really, in all reality, hats off to you. You guys did really good for the first half of the league. It's only fair that you guys win, but life isn't always fair, so you guys better earn it.
Yeah, you're right.
Jarrod, it was awesome. We appreciate having you on and speak on behalf of us three that you make us want to bring guests back even more. So we appreciate you coming on tonight.
I appreciate that, guys. And, I'll just say I, with all the jokes and stuff, I do appreciate bowling with all you guys. It's one of the best leagues I've been on. And sometimes, yes, I think it's just a real laid back, easygoing league. And I love getting to.
Oh, appreciate that. We appreciate having you. It's guys like you that make it so. So we appreciate having you.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, when Lee posts Jarrod's 10th frame 300 game, you can study it.
It's a blueprint.
If I shoot 300 next week, I'm going to shove it in all your faces.
Yeah. You can study it and see what it takes.
And I can confidently say no one's going to be in my face next week. So. It's at least not Chris Woodmansey anyway. Maybe someone else.
Yeah, in 2 weeks it's going down.
When I had the front 8, boom, I'm in your face.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta have the front 12 to be in my face, man.
I said 8.
Yeah, Camille will let you finally sleep in the same bed.
That's not fishing with 6 and starting with 6. It's one game.
Oh man,
I think
what was that Andy Vera Papa 300? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I think after tonight, Chris is ordering a CUDA.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Jarrod, for being our guest finally for this first season of our first half. Everyone tune in for next podcast as you see parades and bells and trumpets singing our first place song that my team is in first place and will continue to be in first place until the end of the season. Until then, I'll see you there.
Hey, if you don't join us, you'll be like Chris, losing the first half.
All right, gentlemen.
Hey, guys.
Bye.
See you later.